Hello, everybody. My name is Amanda. I'm the sales and marketing manager here at Infinity, and we have.
My name is Scott Blodgett. I am the president of Infinity Custom Homes.
So we are so excited to be here with you guys today to talk about our newest community in Cranberry Township, Laurel Pointe. So I know we have a lot of people that are going to be hopping on our webinar here today. This community has been a long time in the coming, and we have a lot of people that are interested. So we'll give it just a minute here to let everybody kind of get on. So if you are watching and you have to step aside, no worries. We're going to record this and then we'll send it out. So don't get stressed out if you have to step away for a minute or two. So yeah, I think Scott's going to get us started off here, kind of just generally talking about the community and kind of where it's at. And
Yep. Are we waiting? Or
no, I think we're at 11:01, so I think a minute or so. Yeah,
we're good.
We're good.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, as Amanda said, we are very, very excited here to be sharing the information that we have today about Laurel Pointe. It has been long waited, and word has leaked for a while now that this community has been in the works. And so there has been lots and lots of interest and people kind of anxiously awaiting us to get to this point.
Yes.
So we are excited that we are to a point within kind of the development of the community to be able to share all of this with you, and soon thereafter get started with our first couple of homes and many thereafter.
Yeah.
So I would say probably to start, maybe the biggest attraction that this community has, amongst many others that we'll talk about today, is the one thing in real estate that everybody knows is probably the most important thing that drives people's decisions, which is
location.
You got it. Yep. So this is a A++, in my opinion, location within the North Hills area here. And for many reasons, we would classify it that way. One is it is just over. I mean, literally just over. You can throw a stone to Allegheny County. Mm-hmm. So just over the Allegheny County line into Butler County, which we all know up here in the North Hills that once that happens, you do pay lower Butler County taxes.
Lots less.
Yes. So about half of the tax base that you could expect to pay for the exact same home in Allegheny County would be what you would pay for real estate taxes in Butler. So that, I think, being so close to everything that people are wanting to be close to here in the North Hills is probably the biggest attraction to this community.
Yeah, and I think most of you on this call probably know exactly where it is, but just to give you an idea in case you don't. So on Franklin Road, so at the intersection of 228 and Franklin, St. Killian's is right there. It is just south on Franklin, like what is it, a quarter mile south?
Quarter mile.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where it is at.
So yes, in general, it is a fairly large community by Pittsburgh standards. Total lot. Oh, my bad. Total lot count in the community. Do you actually know what the total count is?
I don't off the top of my head.
Okay, so I would say roughly 150, but don't hold me to that. And we're really excited to be able to share a little bit of that community with everybody kind of in the market. And what I mean by that, well, one, it is an Infinity exclusive community. So oftentimes when you have mixed product like this community will have, you do share with other builders. In this case, we are exclusive. And so for a lot of our interested buyers out there, that is an important thing for them. And in this case, I think it's important for everybody to know from the beginning that this will be an Infinity exclusive community, but it will be a mixed product and mixed with kind of our core single family product that our audience has kind of seen to date, and some new maintenance-free first floor owner suite product that we are currently developing. And this will be kind of the first time that our potential buyers have seen something like this from Infinity. So we're excited about that as well.
Yeah. So today we're going to focus, we're going to talk about the community just overview, but we're also going to just focus more on the single family home sites because those are the ones that are ready to start right now. The low maintenance, as you guys know, we're not quite ready yet. We will be doing another one of these in probably about 60 days where we will focus just on the low maintenance home sites. You'll get a little sneak peek today if that is of interest to you, kind of where they're at of what's going to be in phase one, but we're not quite ready to start meeting with people on that yet. So the focus here is single family.
Yes, so try to be patient as possible. I keep getting lots and lots of phone calls from real estate agents and other very interested buyers out there that are anxiously waiting our low maintenance.
Yes, it's like right there. We're just not quite there yet.
Another 60 days we'll be there,
Yeah.
and we'll be as excited to share all of that with you. So try to be patient with us for a little longer as this has been a work in progress. But yes, as Amanda said, today's focus will be our single family section of the community. So we will be releasing a total of 25 single family home sites. And 9 of them will be a 1/4 acre in size, and they will be featuring our front entry 2-car garage home sites, and then the balance will be our 1/3 acre home sites that will allow for 3-car and side entry garages. And so within those, there will be a nice mix, especially within the side entry garage product. There will be both kind of low side lots and
What is low side?
yeah, and high side. So get good. Yeah, I use that term so often that I just assume everybody knows. But low side lots would be kind of a walkout basement type scenario where you would have a deck off of the first floor, set of stairs coming down to then a walkout basement where you could have lots of natural light and another outdoor space at that level. And then the opposite would be kind of the other side of the road, typically, where the basement's generally buried mostly in the ground, and you walk out right from your main living level to your backyard. So we're always happy when we have an equal amount of both, because here in Pittsburgh, it seems like half the market wants one, half the market wants the other. And in this case, it's split almost right down the middle. And so we're happy to be able to offer both. Also, we get this question often, are the home sites treed? Are they private? Are there cul-de-sacs?
Yeah.
So we are very happy.
So let me, I will share screen here so you guys can see the map. So this is kind of a first look at the map here. There.
Can we
have seen this picture.
I was going to say, is everybody able to hear us okay, by the way?
So if you
we can get some feedback.
The chat down in the bottom, you guys can utilize that. If you have questions along the way or comments, you can put it in there. We'll wait to answer all the questions until the very end. So you can throw a question in there if you don't want to forget it. That's totally fine. Okay, we're good.
We're good. People can hear us.
They can hear us.
All right, very good. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it.
Okay, so here's the map you guys can all see of the community. So the 9 front entry that Scott had mentioned, and then the remaining kind of the brighter blue are the side entry.
Yes, so kind of to orient everybody, we didn't talk about this yet, but you can see on this map, there will be 2 entrances into the community. Both are highlighted on this map. And they will be the only 2 entrances in this community. So oftentimes, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of communities will connect into a township roadway system, and oftentimes there is unnecessary traffic going through communities where nobody's ever happy about that. So it is always nice if you have a captive community where the only people traveling in are the people living there or visiting the people that are living there. And so we are very happy about that. But so you can see the 2 entrances. And there are currently 2 cul-de-sacs that are shown. This is all going to be part of phase 1. So this is kind of what our developer partner is actively working on and focused on. And this is what we will be releasing here this year. And beyond this, as I mentioned, it's a much larger community that will be coming in future years as we continue to progress. But right now there's 2 cul-de-sacs. The one where you see the smaller home sites kind of grayed out will be the villas that we'll be releasing here in about I shouldn't say villas because nobody understands, but will be our maintenance-free product that we'll be releasing here in about 60 days, as we mentioned at the beginning.
So still coming soon.
Yep, and then the balance that are colored either in light blue or dark blue are our quarter-acre lots. As Amanda pointed out, there's 9 of them. And then the balance are the larger 3rd acre for side entry type garages. And half of those roughly are in the 2nd cul-de-sac.
I think you were talking about trees when I pulled this up. So here's a drone image taken probably about a month or so ago. So a little bit more progress has been made in the community since then. Obviously, the road has been paved, but you can see here, so many trees still remain within the community. So this cul-de-sac here has trees on both sides. These home sites here will have trees in the back. So just some really great landscape views there.
Yes, so I would say one of the major attractions here to this community, in my opinion, in addition to the location, and the location being fantastic from a accessibility to all the things on 228 and the airport downtown and all the things that everybody wants access to. But in addition, in which this is, I think, very unique, and you can walk. You can walk not only within the community, but there will be a pretty extensive trail system that the developer is also working on as an amenity to the community that will connect you to some of the major attractions here on 228 in that corridor, which would be some restaurants, some retail, beautiful park.
Yeah. So Cranberry Woods, which is the side that Chick-fil-A is on. So if you're in Cranberry, everybody knows where Chick-fil-A is, right? There's walking trails in there as well. So the walking trails within Laurel Pointe will connect over there. And then you have access to all of that. And then obviously across the street, you have access to everything, Target, Starbucks, Lowe's, all that over there as well.
It's always nice to not have a captive community, especially as the weather is nice here in Pittsburgh. People like to get out and be active, ride their bikes, take walks, rollerblade, etc. So
very rare to be able to walk outside of your community.
Right, and when you get outside of this, it's pretty extensive, the things that you can access, and so also very, very nice, very attractive part of this project.
Yeah, so. Definitely.
Okay.
So moving on to, I think we had all the.
I think so. We're looking at our list of.
Our little cheat sheet.
Yeah, so I think from a community, location, tax, let's talk about schools maybe for a second. I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but if you were to live here, kids would be going to.
So Seneca Valley School District, it is Rowan Elementary and then Hain Middle School.
Okay. Both of which we know are in the greater Seneca Valley school system. Those are 2 very attractive schools within.
Yeah, definitely. And then St. Killian's and North Catholic are literally right there. So if you choose to go the private route, you have options that are right at your fingertips.
Exactly. Yep. It's a very nice addition here to our residents in the North Hills.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about houses and product and what people can expect.
Okay, so I'll show you guys here our floor plan. So obviously our traditional product and then kind of the pricing for front entry versus side entry.
Yep. So our Napa, which would be our starting price on both of our single family section here, will be starting at $649 on the quarter acre front entries, and then the side entry will be $709 for that same house. So our buyers will be able to kind of sift through this information to try to hit certain budgets that we know is a very important part of the buying process.
Yep.
We also listed on there do have, so 6 of those homes will be kind of our traditional first floor owner suite on the second floor,
Mhm.
and 2 of those.
So you said first floor owner suite.
Sorry, did I?
So owner
My
suite
bad.
up.
My bad.
Yep,
Owner
just so
suite
you guys
up.
don't get confused with that.
I might confuse people. And then the other 2, which would be the Carolina and the Colorado, both will feature the owner suite down on the main level. So a little bit of something for everybody. As far as the list of 8, we do have how many models that people can actually walk through?
Yeah, great question. So we have 4 model homes right now. So we have our Napa, which is in Gibsonia. We have our Portland, which is in Mars, our Austin and Cranberry, and then our Nantucket, which is in Wexford. They are all within about 10 to 15 minutes of each other. So I know a lot of you have already been to our models, so great. If not, you can come back out again, or if you haven't been, please come out. You can make kind of a tour day of it. It's very easy to hop from one to the next to get a feel for the size of the homes, the feel of the homes, the just every design, all aspects.
They're all furnished.
Yeah, definitely all furnished, all have kind of a different style and feel. So even if, if there's a specific floor plan that you're looking at, you can still go look at the other models because all of the design aspects can be translated from one to the next. So definitely get a good feel for what we have to look at. And then if any of you are not local and you're doing this out of state or whatnot, we have virtual tours of all of our plans. So even floor plans that we don't have models of, I have virtual tours of all of those on our website. Another great resource, like I said, if you're out of town or you just can't quite get out, please feel free to utilize those on the website as well.
Yep. Yeah, the website is filled with all the information you will need to kind of start your search. If you haven't been on it, we certainly encourage people to use it, get comfortable with it, and we start to talk to you more about the details of your home. We'll be referring to it as well. So certainly encourage people to check it out. All right. Pricing, kind of how we
components.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about, and this is consistent for any community that anybody would be interested in pricing out a home for. The same would apply here, and for many of our listeners, they may have already been through this process with us a couple times, or at least once maybe, and if not, if it's new, we'll kind of refresh you. But there are 3 components that make up the total sales price of our home. The base price, which you now have, and it will be, if it hasn't been posted yet, to the Laurel Pointe part of our website, it will soon.
It'll be on there later today. So you'll be able to see all those floor plans on there a little bit later today.
Very good. Second component will be a lot premium. And this is how we differentiate between a individual or all the lots within the same community. So all of the lots start with the same base price. That is consistent. The difference between from one lot to the next would be kind of the premium. The premium in this community seems to range between no premium up to $35,000. So of the 3 components, it is the smallest of the 3 in terms of overall percentage of sales price. But it does help people start to kind of figure out value of the home site and where they might want to be. So, and the third is our options customizations. And right now, in order to get an accurate collection of that information, you would need to schedule a sales appointment, and we'll kind of explain how that will be. But that is consistent. Once we know those 3 components, you will have a sales price. That information all is given to you in a very simple spreadsheet that you can then kind of manipulate on your own and play around with, and it becomes easier for people to start to visualize and figure out what they want in terms of specifications to hit a certain budget. Yeah. So,
and the lot premiums, those are going to be listed on the website as well once the full page goes live a little bit later today. So that is something that when we just launched our last community last month, we decided to put that information on the website. So we hope you guys find that valuable to kind of have that at your fingertips prior to sitting down with the sales team. So you'll be able to know base price and lot premium, and then the rest of options with the sales team.
Yep. And we should add that the first appointment that you would sit down and talk with us, we've been doing a lot of it by phone right now, which seems to be very effective with use of the website. That in that first appointment, which could be about an hour to 2 hours, depending on the customer, the house, and et cetera, they will get a very, very good feel for all of this information. And at the end of that, I think most people walk away feeling pretty educated about all these different pricing components of the home.
Yeah. Okay, so next steps. So
can I add one more thing about pricing?
Absolutely.
That we forgot. So people often ask, like, what will the general price range be within the
values
community?
in the community?
Right. What are the values going to be? And so we believe this community will be very similar to all the other Infinity communities out there. And those values tend to range between $750,000 to 1.5 or more.
Yep.
And we would expect this community and most buyers to fall in that range. So if anybody's curious, we at least wanted to mention that. I think this will be pretty similar to all the others.
Yeah. And we are planning to do the Cambridge model, right?
We believe right now the Cambridge model is going to be, we don't have a Cambridge model, unfortunately, for people to walk through right now. And it is one of our more popular floor plans, especially if you are attracted to the 2-story great room, which is kind of the key characteristic of that home at a price point that people seem to want to be in. And so we continue to sell a lot of Cambridges. Unfortunately, we also have lots of people asking to see that model. And we sold the last Cambridge that we had in Venango Estates about a year or so ago. So we've been without, and we're hoping for the right opportunity.
So anyways, that one will definitely be over $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Typically
Just
our
so
models,
you guys an idea.
Yes, so it will. Okay, next steps now.
Okay, next steps.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. Okay, so next steps, you guys can actually go out and walk lots. So the single family section is paved, so you guys can go out there. The one entrance, which is closest to St. Killian's there, you can pull in there. It's still gravel right now, but you can kind of just pull in, park your car, and get out and walk over to the paved section. We're going to be putting up lot signs, so you guys will know.
When will those go?
Those are going to go up. They'll be up by tomorrow. So if you're super excited and want to go out, they may not be up today, but they will be up tomorrow. So the lot signs will be up, so you'll know kind of exactly. We position those in the center of the lot, right at the build line. So you'll know where they're at is where the front of the house would start, or whatever the furthest point out on the house is. And so you'll be able to get a feel for, the surrounding, what's behind it, what's around it, all of that. So just get a really good feel for the lots out there of what you like. They will also be marked whether they are a patio lot or a deck lot. So as Scott explained earlier, the deck ones, those are the ones with the walkout basements. And then the patios are the ones where your basement would be fully underground and you would walk out of your kitchen right onto the patio.
And our lot listings that will also be published tomorrow or today will indicate that.
Exactly. Yep. So you'll have a list of all the single family lots, and it will say the acreage, it will state the premium, and then whether it's a deck.
And maybe garage left or right, I think.
I think that's on there as well. Yeah.
So
You guys will have all that information, so you can start to do some of that investigative work before you sit down with the sales team.
Yep.
So then to schedule your appointment with the sales team, we're going to have you connect with Alicia. And just to fair warning, there are a ton of you on here, and there's a ton of interest. So Alicia is going to get bombarded today with all of you contacting her. So please bear with her as she is getting back to everybody. So what we're asking you guys to do is to shoot her a text message. And let me pull up the number here. So there's Alicia's cell phone number. Many of you probably already have this, but if not, you guys can go ahead and write it down, 724-553-1008. So she's asking that you text her your first and last name, and then she'll just kind of get back to you as they come in. So if she doesn't get back to you right away, please have some patience and bear with her. She will definitely get back to all of you. We are just as excited as what you guys are in taking these next steps with learning more about Laurel Pointe. So once you have your appointment scheduled, and we're going to start holding appointments tomorrow. So, you know, from tomorrow through the 20th is when we're going to hold appointments. Don't feel like you have to get in tomorrow. It's not a first come, first serve. Scott's not going to sell you a house tomorrow, although he would probably want to. Yes. So we're going to let everyone who's on here have an opportunity for an appointment, kind of work through, you know, figuring out if this is a good fit for you. And then I'll go through the process here in a minute. But so other things you can do right now is touring the model homes, virtual tours, all those kind of things we talked about on the website, all that content that you have available to you. That just really helps your appointment with the sales team just go a little bit more smoother, because you're a little bit more educated on things that you like, things that you don't like, things that you want to make sure you put in the house, and just gives you a more accurate sales price if you're able to kind of identify those things up front. You can talk with our preferred lender, which Alicia can connect you with them as well once you set up that appointment. So if you want to get started with the pre-approval, it's always a good time to get that up front and just over with. And then if selling your house is something that is in the cards for you, that's something that you guys can start to think about as far as like prepping your home, interviewing realtors to list it, and start going down that road. So now the release process.
All these things too, I don't want people to feel overwhelmed. They don't have to have all these done prior to the appointment. These are just suggestions of things to start to work on. Probably most importantly really is getting out to Laurel Pointe, walking the community, getting a feel for maybe which home site, as that will become kind of the first decision that you'll need to make.
Yeah, right? Definitely, for sure. Okay, so the process here. So starting tomorrow through the 20th, you'll have an opportunity to work with our sales team to go through that initial appointment where you'll talk about pricing, home sites, kind of financing, really everything that you would need to make an informed decision on whether this is a good fit or not. So you'll have an opportunity to put down a lock deposit, which is $5,000. And so you're going to choose your top 3 home site choices. So on the lock deposit form, you're going to pick number 1, number 2, and number 3. And if ultimately you decide not to move forward, the $5,000 is refundable. So then on the 21st, we will confirm with everyone their home site choices. Obviously, our goal is always to give everyone their first choice. In doing this many, many times, it's very rare that we have situations where we have multiple people. Everybody is looking for something unique. So what is most desirable to you is not what's most desirable to the next person. So just kind of think there's a lot of different factors that are taken into account when looking at home sites. And we have a lot of really great options in the beginning of this first phase here. So in the instance, kind of always have to have a backup plan that we do have multiple people that have the same number 1 choice. We would kind of go off of this. So we would look at non-contingent versus contingent. So obviously the contingent person who has to sell their house to be able to move forward, the non-contingent would win out over that. If you obviously need to be financially pre-approved, so that's where kind of that pre-approval comes into play there. And then being able to start construction right away versus having to wait. So if all of those 3 things are met by both people, then we would go to kind of the tiebreaker, which would be the overall sales price would be awarded their first lot choice. But again, we very rarely ever have to get into that situation, but we just have to have that in play in case. So that is the release process. Again, for Alicia, you could text her your first and last name, and she will kind of start working through all of those as they come in to get those scheduled. Anything you want to add to that?
One final thing.
Okay.
Timing.
Yes.
And when people could expect to get started and when they could expect to move in.
Mm-hmm.
So the community is a work in progress right now. As you go out there, you're going to see lots of progress.
Yes.
The roads are paved, which is always kind of the first part of it. Utilities are being worked on from there. And so some of this is a work in progress. We believe the first few people who are really anxious to want to get started would be able to do so at the beginning of the year, January-ish timeline, and potentially move in by the end of next year as well.
Yeah.
So, and we'll kind of also help prioritize those that are anxious that do want to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think as Amanda mentioned, everybody has different needs, and that does generally work out. So, and we'll talk more about that in our first few appointments together. So.
Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we have some questions already here in the chat, which is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and then as you have questions, please just type them in, and we'll get through all of them. Okay, so first question, I think you answer, what type of move-in timeframes can we expect from a single-family home? So first few starting early 21 and then closing late 21.
Yep.
Will the 3rd-acre lots be able to accommodate a 4-car garage infinity option?
That is a great question. I believe they will. It would depend somewhat on what house they're picking.
Okay.
So, in what lot they're picking. So not all of them will accommodate a 4-car garage. I believe some of them will.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is something that is important, that would be one of the first things we'd want to talk through.
Yeah, definitely.
To make sure we're pairing you with the right lot that can accommodate that, as they all may not be able to do so.
Yep. All right. Well,
and that is kind of true in most of our communities.
For sure. Yeah. Will there be half-acre single-family home sites in this phase or in another phase?
I don't know about other phases. In this phase, I don't think any of them go up to a half-acre.
Yeah.
I think they're in the 1/3 to 0.4 and change. I'm not sure any of them are actually noted as 0.5 acres.
Yeah.
That said, acreage is an important factor for people, obviously, but more importantly would be usability.
For sure.
And so I feel like they're all going to give you a nice usable backyard. So
yeah.
But to answer the question, there isn't any half.
Yeah. And like Scott said, well, acreage is an important number. The getting out there, which like we're suggesting for you guys to do, and really kind of seeing in person, you can have a half-acre lot that none of it is usable, and vice versa. You can have a 1/4 acre lot that all of it is usable. Right. So just kind of taking those things into account. I'm interested in the low maintenance product that you'll be offering in 60 days. Okay. Kathy, we promise we will get you that information as soon as we have it. And yeah, roughly about 60 days, we'll be doing this again. So we will send out an email with that information. So for those that are interested in the low maintenance, you'll have an opportunity to hop on another one of these with that. Do these prices include the lots? Good question.
That is a good question, and yes, they do. So the lot is included in these prices.
Yep. Okay. Does the 709 include 3-car side or 2-car side?
It is a 3-car garage. So the configuration of that garage is going to be dependent on the house type. Whereas our Napa has a 3-car side with no kind of bolt-on attachment, the others generally do.
Yeah.
So
I think
they all will have 3-car.
Yeah. So the side entry garage pricing that includes 3-car side entry. The front entry is 2-car front entry.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the Laurel Pointe website to look at the models? So if you go to our website at the very top tab, you can click on, I think it's Find Your Home, click on the communities, and then you can find Laurel Pointe there very easily. What are the inclusions? So another great question. So when you go to the website that I just mentioned and you go to each of the different floor plans, there is an inclusions tab. They're going to be pretty much the same floor plan to floor plan, but it will list all of them there. So you can see everything from the foundation to kitchens, countertops, those types of things. They'll be all listed there. With third acre lots, will there be enough space to add a pool?
Yeah, sure. Yep, there'll be enough in the backyard for a pool.
Yeah. And when you sit down with the sales team, that's something that they can kind of, plan out for you on the map.
Yes.
Is the plot plan on the website? So yes, Nancy, the plot plan will be on the website. The map that I showed you there, it'll be up there later today. And we're also working to get the grading map on the website. It might not be up there quite today, but hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have it up there. I know that's something that the sales team uses a lot when talking about lots and usability and whether you're going to have slope down, slope up, all that kind of stuff. When will the patio home sites be available? So again, we're gonna, in roughly 60 days, we'll do this again. So let's see, we're beginning of October. So beginning of December, we'll probably have this and then start meeting with people probably in December. Yeah. What is the timing of a build? A good question.
Yes, very good question. So a typical process takes 12 months. Could be less than that. In this community, let's say 12 months for sure, because there's still some development work being done. The first 2 to 3 months of that cycle is a lot of planning of the home, making selections with one of our design coordinators that would be paired with somebody who has purchased to help them through all the colors and selections of the interior and exterior part of their home. Simultaneously, we're working on blueprints and permitting and financing. So that generally takes 60 to 90 days, and then we would start construction from there. And then the typical build is 8 to 9, could be 10 months, depending on size of house, et cetera.
Yeah. So from the time that you sign a sales agreement to moving into your house is roughly a year, give or take, depending on, like Scott said, size of house, something like that. Any idea when phase 2 might open up?
I do not. I would imagine the developer will continue kind of working on developing the community, which they've already started doing some mass grading. But I don't have a definitive timeline right now. There's 25 single family home sites, and then there's another 10, 15, 20 villas that are going to be worked on. That will be enough supply for at least another year, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So this time next year, I would imagine maybe phase 2 or beyond. It's a tough one.
It's hard. Will there be another first floor owner suite plan that is a bit smaller than the Carolina?
Yes, great question. And yes, there will be. There will be 2 other floor plans that we are currently developing. One is getting close to being released, the Sedona. So we do have a name, so you can kind of stay tuned for the Sedona. They range in square foot currently. The Colorado is the biggest at 3,600. The Carolina would be 3,300. The Sedona will be 3,000 square feet. So each one has about a 300 square foot difference in them. And they will also, these homes, in addition to being offered on the in the maintenance-free section of the community, can also be built on our single-family homes.
Yeah, that's a good point. So well, we didn't talk much about the low maintenance first floor owner suite section. The first floor owner suite floor plans can still be built in the single-family section. Obviously, not low maintenance, but just the.
Somebody wanted a bigger lot. They want to take care of their own yard, et cetera. They certainly can still live in the community for all the other benefits, but they would just have a bigger home site and be able to put their home there.
Yep. So there's going to be a total of 4 first floor owner suite plans. 2 of them are currently on the website, the Colorado and the Carolina. And then as Scott just mentioned, the Sedona should be up pretty soon. Do you think it's far enough along that somebody could roughly maybe soon?
Yeah,
look at
we're
it?
getting real close. Two more weeks, I would say we should be able to publish the
Yep.
Sedona.
So those
2 to 3 weeks.
So those are options that
Yeah.
on the single family side, you could still, use those floor plans. How many phases do you expect?
That's a great question as well. I don't know how many, I don't know the answer to that.
I know, I don't, yes.
There will be at least 3, I believe. But,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
When you meet with the sales team, if you are interested in seeing the overall plan, just to get a feel for how big it is, I'm sure Scott can share with you what that looks like for sure.
Yep.
Will fences be permitted?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fences, I think will be handled the same way in this community as they are in all of them. They just have to be approved by the association. Typically, black wrought iron, which isn't as popular, it seems like would be approved, I would imagine. And then stockade type fences and kind of taller ones. I'm not sure how the association will look at that. In some of our communities, they are not allowed. So any kind of landscape buffering certainly would be green, giant arborvitae, stuff like that is no problem as well.
Yeah. Will you have a community center like Laurel Grove?
It is not planned for at this point, so no.
What is the HOA fee?
Fantastic question that we don't know the answer to that yet. Kind of awaiting this information from our developer partner who has not given it to us yet, but I would think, I'm not going to estimate a number at this point, but I would say it should be competitive with all the other single family communities that we are currently active in. So we hope to have that information here fairly soon.
Yeah. With the upcoming low maintenance homes, can you give a general price range?
I can't right now.
Yeah.
60 days we'll be able to.
So I think on the website we say upper 500s, which I know is very general, but probably is as much as we can give right now until we're.
It's not like we're trying to hold that from you. We're still developing.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Do these prices include a finished basement?
They do not.
We already answered that question. How many future phases? We talked about that. Where will the next phase build off from this map? Will the phase 1 cul-de-sac be extended from or stay dead end?
Let me just get it real fast here. Well, the phase 1, that will be the phase 1 cul-de-sac of the single family will dead end. There will not be anything from there. The rest of the community will come off of that second entrance that is closer to St. Killian's, and it'll kind of continue on through to at least 2, maybe 3 other cul-de-sacs.
How many single family homes are planned for the community? How many low maintenance? Do you want to do a quick count, Scott?
I'm not going to do a quick count for the sake of time, but I'm looking at a map. We should have this information, but I apologize.
I don't have it in front of me.
To our viewers out there, I don't have a accurate count. We should know this, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Will the 2,800 square foot model with first floor master suite be available? So I'm assuming you mean be available in the single family section. So there's a 2,700 at a 3,000, 3,300, 3,600.
2,800. We may offer it in on the front entry garage quarter-acre lots. I'm not sure that we will for the third. I don't think we will.
Yeah. Are there any half-acre to three-quarter acres in the first phase? So no.
There's not.
Yep. More phase questions. I think we answered all of those. Will there be single-family homes in future phases? Yes. So future phases will consist of low-maintenance home sites as well as the single-family home sites. So both of them will continue to add on.
Probably important to share because This will come out very early on, and for those that were anxiously awaiting this, 4 half-acre home sites or bigger, if they're disappointed here in what they just learned, and we don't have them, we do have another community here in the township, just about 10 minutes away, Forest Edge. So the home sites in Forest Edge will be larger by acreage. And so if that was something that you were really holding out for, then Forest Edge probably would be the community for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that will be one of the first things that we start to talk about is kind of your expectation for lot size, usability, all those things. And we are lucky enough to have another active single family community here in the township, not far from Laurel Pointe. So we will start to have those conversations very early on.
Yeah, the good news is there's a lot of options. So within Laurel Pointe itself, there's a lot of options, but then if for whatever reason you decide that those are not good for you, Forest Edge is still another really great option.
If you haven't been to Forest Edge, we encourage you to drive through Forest Edge. Our Austin model is there. Lots of beautiful home sites there.
Yeah, and we recently released a new phase there as well. It's not quite paved yet, right?
But real close.
Real close, yeah. So
you can see that on our website, and you're welcome to drive there as well.
Yeah.
So
can you provide Elisa's number again? So yes, let me make sure I'm saying it correctly. 724-553-1008 is her number that you can text her at. How many total phases? Talked about that already. Can you talk a little bit about the layout of the amenities and the location of additional phases? So for the additional phases,
probably best just to see it on a map.
Yeah, so like in person, when you meet with the sales teams, they can show that too.
If this is, we can share that with whoever is interested in seeing the global map.
Yeah.
So we can anybody that is interested, we can get that to them.
And on the, so as far as like the layout of the amenities, the walking trails, you can see that on phase 1, how that is connected throughout phase 1, if that is important to you to kind of know where that is.
Yep.
Typically, what level of markup can be seen in future phases? It's a really good question.
This is a great question. Well, what I can say is that I have never seen pricing go down from one phase to the next.
Never. Nor has it ever stayed consistent.
Nor has it ever stayed consistent in any community, and we've been doing this for a long time now. So that we can share. What that number is, it really is a lot of it is market driven. It is, and with the market right now, there is lots of just shortages and materials that are driving prices up, and lumber prices going up, and all kinds of factors out there. So what that number will be from phase to phase in this community, I couldn't tell you, but I would imagine that I'm accurate in saying that future phases will be more than they are right now.
Definitely, for sure. Would an elevator option be a possibility with a plan redesign?
Good question. We have done this for anybody who is in need or wants an elevator, so it is something we would certainly consider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will the Sedona be available for the first phase?
Yes. We hope the Sedona will be released in a few weeks.
Yep. Besides walking trails, what are the other amenities of the plan?
That is a fantastic question. Still a work in progress with our developer partner. So we know the trail system and interconnectivity within the township to other trail systems is what they're really focused on right now. There is, I think it's okay to talk about this. There's a beautiful pond on the property. Beautiful pond.
It's gorgeous. I've seen it.
Yes, we've heard. There are some fish in this pond.
Currently there are
fish. So we don't know what is going to happen to the pond. The developer would like to try to keep it, but there are lots of agencies, governmental wise, that are kind of involved with this and trying to preserve it or not. So we don't know, but we hope that we would all be happy if this pond could be preserved, and there is a pretty walking trail that would go around it. So that certainly would be nice to kind of enhance the, the trails in the community. So that's really all we can comment on now. It's a beautiful pond. We hope it stays. The developer wants it to stay, but beyond that, I'm not sure they know yet what the complications are in keeping it or maintaining it and beyond. So as we get more information, we will certainly share that with you. So if you were hoping to buy in this community for that reason only, we cannot guarantee you that there will be a pond long lived here.
There are many other reasons to buy in this community.
But we certainly are hopeful that there will be a pond and maybe around the pond some other amenities in time. So we're not totally sure about that.
And then the sidewalks, street lights that you see consistent throughout Cranberry, little parklets, meaning like a bench. There will be a rustic pavilion. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like. It's on the plan. It is on the first floor owner suite, the low maintenance side, to just give you an idea of kind of where that's at within the community or plan to be within the community. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear your response to the finished basement question.
Yeah, we offer finished basements, but they are not included in the base price of the home.
Yeah.
And finished basements can range from $20,000 to $120,000 roughly, and everything in between.
Okay. Will there be pricing concessions made for individuals not working with a realtor?
There will not be, no.
Yep. Will the low maintenance homes have a basement? And is the square footage you mentioned including a basement if applicable?
They will have a basement. Square footage you mentioned does not include the basement. So, and the basements are pretty large in these types of homes because the first floors are generally larger and the basement kind of follows the first floor. So lots of room for expanded homes and square footages in the basements of all of our homes, really.
Yep. Are there low maintenance homes in Forest Edge?
There are not.
No. You can build the first floor owner suites, but you still have to maintain your yard.
Yes.
Do you have a base price for the Sedona?
We do not yet, but I would say it's going to be roughly $30,000 to $35,000 less than the Carolina.
Yeah. Where is the community pond? So let me,
kind of hard to,
I know,
maybe you can
just
see it on
try to, I mean, you can't see it on this map here, but let me show you, at least to kind of pull this up here.
Does the aerial show it at
No,
all? Okay.
still. So essentially, like where number one is, the number one is here on the map. It's like, it's south of that, right?
The southwest.
So like this
Kind of
direction.
about where that guy is there. In that range.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit further. Okay. Yeah. General idea.
Pretty decent, nice walk to it. Today would be a perfect day for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will there be any playgrounds?
No.
No, not within the community. Pool? No. Any kind of deck included in the base price?
No. Yeah, you're shaking your head. Yes.
No, sorry. No, I wasn't
No,
doing that.
there is no outdoor space included there's no outdoor space included in the base price. And mostly driven by every lot.
Different.
It's different,
Yeah.
So lots of variables in that. So we keep that as an optional feature of the home.
Yeah. Will the HOA fee be less for the single family homes versus the low maintenance?
Yes.
Can you please send the recording of this meeting out after the fact? Yes, absolutely. We will send the recorded. I'll send it out to the whole database in case we're not able at all to get on or partially or had to step away. So you guys will all have that later this afternoon. I'll send that out once I get it re-uploaded. Well, I think that is our last question. So if anybody else has anything they'd like to ask, now's your chance. Anything on your list, Scott, that
we are very excited to meet all of you who are interested in meeting with us.
Yeah.
If you've been waiting for this type of community in this location, this would be the community for you. So we are very excited to kind of be where we're at right now and starting to share this information. So we are anxious to get started, as I know a lot of you are. And so hopefully we start to talk to you in the next couple of days, over the next few weeks, and helping you plan for your home.
Yep. One last question that just came in. You had mentioned 4 first floor owner suite homes. Can all 4 be built on the single family home sites?
I think we're gonna have the first 3 that we know 2 will. We think 3 will definitely be allowed, and then the last 2,700 square foot we probably will not allow on the 3rd acre home sites, but potentially on the 1/4 acre. Yeah. All right, guys.
Awesome. So text Alicia your first and last name, 724-553-1008 if you guys want to get an appointment set up with the sales team, and we can take it from there.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon.